Our next question is from a dear friend of mine. He is a 17-year Marine, flew helicopters, and now is killing it with his company, Rich Cardona Media. So, Rich, you're up with Joe. And he has a phenomenal podcast.
Joe will be on it at some point.
Incredible.
I'll come up to Vermont. We'll do it. I'm already Marion and I have been talking a lot, and then she told me some really good stories. So
Awesome.
Joe, so I have the agency I have is very much focused on personal branding. Like the Spartan brand itself does not necessarily need all the content that you put out. It doesn't need the podcast per se. Like you would still probably be able to do as much as you've been doing. However, you know, when you started getting into more digital and you started doing the podcast and the YouTube and the Instagram stories and all of it, what would you say to other executives in terms of how much that has helped cultivate the brand into like a bigger and maybe more massive phenomenon?
You know, we have a really tough time measuring attribution, like what is moving the needle and what isn't. And again, I wish I sounded more like an intellectual for you guys. I know you're looking for specific information, but my approach with the podcast, my approach with all the content we produce, probably, you know, if we do 75 things that are out there, you probably could get away with 20. I could probably kill 55 of them and it wouldn't make a difference. But I don't know. I mean, think about this is the way I think about it. I see a product or service, I see somebody using it, I see it in an email, I don't necessarily buy it or engage with it right away. It might be 2 or 3 years later. So although I can't really tie every sale back, I do know it's very hard to convince a person to do something hard, like a Spartan or a Tough Mudder or whatever, a trail race. And so I just want to stay in front of them. And so it's just really like all my decisions, I go, what's the upside? What's the downside? How much is this podcast costing me in time and dollars? What's the upside? Even though I can't exactly measure the upside, I think I know what it is. Doesn't cost that much, we're doing it. And I do that with everything. And so, but again, if an outside, and this happens to me, if I have an investor, Hearst Corporation, whatever, they look at it, why are we doing all these things? Because I want to.